Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is a digital asset space. Wow, happy, I don't know, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have no idea. No idea. I think it's, I don't know, but happy today to you, to each and every one of you. Wow, Bitcoin is doing its thing. Man, I hope you're so excited about being an early adopter in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. We're going to get into the market a little bit because the market is doing what the market does. Hester Purge is in the news. She's on Thinking Crypto with Tony. She's putting out stuff at the SEC. She says that Gary Gensler is not her boss. That was some interesting verbiage coming from Hester Purge. So, guys, we're going to get into a little bit of some stuff on Twitter we'll cover as well. So, listen, guys, this is your XRP Ripple daily news and around 0 to 10 minutes. So, let's do it. Bitcoin's at $56,400 on the 7-day. It is up 13.6%. Blockchain Backer says that currently, at the moment, people are taking money out of the alts and putting it into Bitcoin. That's interesting. So listen to his video earlier today. Ethereum is under 3,500 at $3,499 at 3.1% on the 7-day. Binance coin is at $440. Cardano's at $2.13. XRP is $1.10. So the market is kind of going down a little bit. Solana $150. Polkadot's at $35. It's up double figures on the 7-day at 13.2%. Dogecoin's 22 cents. Terra Luna's at $37.86. It's down 18% on the 7-day. And it's Shiba Inu is still up 115% on the 7-day. Uniswap's $23.41. Avalanche is at $54.24. So as we like to say, let me do Polygon, $1.23 for Polygon. We're always keeping an eye on that. But as we like to say, the market is doing, well, what the market does, right? So let's get into some interesting stuff today. So first, Stuart Alderoty tweeted out about Commissioner Purge today. Let me see if I have the tweet. And it's a very, very good read from Commissioner Purge today. I'm not going to go through all of it. It's quite lengthy. But Stuart Alderoty said it was a great read, and I think he recommended that we check it out. I've been saving so much stuff here. I don't know if I can find it, but she highlighted some very good stuff. Like this came from her talk at the Texas Blockchain Summit. So here it is. Here, Stuart Alderoty says Commissioner Purge takes aim at the crypto is a Wild West trope or trope. The persistence of both self-regulation and calls by the crypto community for clarity from government regulators suggest that lawlessness is not the prevailing culture of the crypto frontier. Here are some of the things that she highlighted in her talk here, which I think is really, really cool. Again, I'm not going to go over, I'm not going to read all of it, but I will highlight the subjects that she has here. Really good read for sure. Number one, she said, is there really legal clarity around digital assets? A fundamental area of conflict between the SEC and the public is how much legal clarity there is around digital assets. The safe harbor I propose for token distribution events acknowledges there is uncertainty about when crypto asset offerings implicate the securities law, but the prevailing attitude at the SEC is that there is clarity. So why bother with a safe harbor? All right. Point number two she makes in her speech: are we enforcing rules by settling or settling for ambiguity? The SEC points to Supreme Court precedent in our own growing list of enforcement actions and says the case is closed. Most digital assets are securities. Even if we were to accept enforcement as a proper way to provide clarity, it is not working. Point number 3 that Hester Purge makes: are we fighting for investors or fighting for jurisdiction? Shout out to Hester Purge. She is not holding any punches at all here. Wow, love it. Absolutely love it. Awesome. Are we fighting for investors or fighting for jurisdiction? As stablecoins grow in popularity, there are drawing increasing interest from an array of regulators jockeying for regulatory position. Should stablecoin issuers be registered as banks? Should stablecoins be backed by deposit insurance? Should stablecoins be designated as systemically important by the Financial Stability Oversight Council? Are stablecoins money market funds? Should the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau step in to protect consumers? Love it. Point number 4 she makes: are we protecting investors or denying investors opportunity? That is what, for sure, is what's taking place. For sure. We could debate about Gary Gensler and his, what I view is without question jurisdiction, but also his wanting political ascension by way of SEC enforcement actions, just to be able to say he was the one who tamed down what he says is the wild, wild west. Clearly political, clearly a power grab and a political thing, in my opinion. Are we protecting investors or denying investors opportunity? Embedded within the negative Wild West analogy for the crypto frontier is a concern that unwitting and unwilling investors are being harmed by participating in the crypto markets. To those who do not view the opportunity to participate in these markets as valuable, the lack of regulatory clarity in the United States could actually be a way of protecting investors from harm. If ambiguity prevents them from participating, so much the better. Powerful. From this perspective, that some projects and platforms, for example, exclude Americans because of regulatory uncertainty is actually a good thing. It is only the projects that fail to keep Americans out that face enforcement actions. It is only the projects that fail to keep Americans out that face enforcement actions. Widespread geo-blocking of Americans should concern American regulators, even if it doesn't tighten their regulatory load, even if it does lighten their regulatory load. Let me read that again. Widespread geo-blocking of Americans should concern American regulators, even if it does lighten their regulatory load. Powerful. She is just going at it here. Consider, for example, recent well-publicized examples of airdrops that excluded Americans. An airdrop is essentially a free allocation of tokens to, for example, participants in the network. These tokens are a way of rewarding network participants. Why would we want United States participants to be excluded from receiving the reward due them? Take a look at Twitter after one of these airdrops. The SEC is not being thanked. Wow. Great stuff. Great read here. I'm just reading a sentence or two from each point that she makes. Point number 5. Are we going to pretend everything is centralized so we can regulate it? Holy moly. Jerry Gensler has pointed out correctly that labeling something decentralized does not necessarily make it so. We saw this phenomenon at play in a recent purported DeFi enforcement action, which charged a company and 2 executives that ran an illegal offering. And maybe it was at play to a lesser degree in a case from several years ago against the creator of a decentralized trading venue that has some centralized features. But what happens when we are dealing with a protocol that facilitates peer-to-peer or person-to-person code transaction without a centralized intermediary? Is there anyone who could be held liable in a manner consistent with the rule of law and our constitutional principles? Can we hold responsible the developer of an open source protocol for how others use it, or what other layers on top of it? Perhaps we should not even get to these questions. After all, if people avail themselves of an automated market maker to exchange crypto, have they not done so with an appreciation that it is the code that determines how that trade will happen, and that nobody stands ready to reverse a bad trade? Truly decentralized platforms do not mesh well with a regulated approach designed for centralized finance. As one commentator observed, so every time they say the platform must do this and the platform must do that, what does it mean? Implicitly, the only way of understanding these comments is in interpretations of security market regulations as being about what kind of software is allowed to be written. This won't fly. Point number 6, are we catching bad actors or creating a catch-22? The good actors want to know which digital assets are securities so they can figure out how to comply with the securities law. But we have done little during my nearly 4 years on the commission to explain what that would look like. I lay the blame on myself and my colleagues on the commission. You'll never hear Gary Gensler say that. I blame myself. You'll never hear him say it, never. We simply have not allowed staff the latitude to consider the hard questions around how crypto can operate within the securities framework. The way forward is not to drag entities into the commission through enforcement actions and brute force them into a regulatory regime that is not actually well suited for them. Oh, wow. It'd be interesting to see if she becomes a witness in this Ripple versus SEC case. This is what Ripple has been arguing the whole time. Coming in and talking to you does not suit what we're looking to do. We view our digital asset as a currency, period. FinCEN has designated that way. Other nations around the world has designated it that way, period. Rather, we should take a methodical approach, one that provides answers to the key questions to which market participants need answers. In a dissent in an enforcement action against crypto trading platform Poloniex, I laid out a paradox. Deeming digital assets to be security means that platforms that trade them and entities that intermediate them have to register with us, but they cannot operate as a registered entity under our existing rules, so they would not be able to register. In that dissent, I called for answers to a number of questions, which I think bear repeating here because they give a sense of the complexity that arises once at least one digital asset trading on a platform is deemed to be a security. Can the platform custody clients' assets? Can the platform custody clients' assets? They feature typical of centralized crypto trading platform. If so, how, given our concerns about custody of digital asset securities? If not, could a sufficient number of broker-dealers navigate the registration process to make a liquid market? I'm not going to read all those questions, but this is absolutely golden. Shout out to Hester Purge. This is the talk in large part from the Texas Blockchain Summit that just took place. I had no idea that she was going to be there. I could have went to that because I believe it was here in Austin, I believe. So in conclusion, these questions are intended to spur deeper cross-government commitment to searching for sensible regulatory solutions. The stakes are high because the government is riding into crypto town with the promise that it can do a better job than the existing informal disciplinary mechanisms. We do have regulatory experience that we can bring to bear here, but we have to do so carefully. As government agencies consider how to regulate, they ought to take the lead from Congress, work collaboratively with one another, and actively consult the public who will be subject to and protected by the rules. I might approach this whole endeavor with a less strict hand than some of my fellow regulators. But the real question is not what I or any other regulator wants, but what you, the people, the intended beneficiaries of this regulation want. I'm eager to see what you accomplish on the crypto frontier once we set some sensible, clear regulatory parameters. To paraphrase the standard closing words of a popular crypto broadcast, which follows an appropriate warning about the riskiness of the space, you are headed west. This is the frontier. It's not for everyone. I love it. And she ends saying, thank you for allowing me to drop in on your journey west. Love it. Shout out to Hester Purge. This is some great stuff, guys. She really lays it down. I hope this was of value to you. I'm going to end this video here. I'll be back later today, later on tonight, to cover some more stuff, but I think I am going to end it there. A lot of great stuff kind of going on, but yeah, I'll cover it on another video. The Flare Networks announcing Algo as the next F asset is definitely huge. Charles Gasparino was in the news on Fox Business, just laying it down. Let me share this one thing. I will share this recent tweet from Charles. Let's see if I have it. Because this is a thread kind of pointing out some of these meetings that took place between Gensler and Clayton. Yeah. Scoop from Charles Gasparino at Fox Business. In March of 2018, Gary Gensler, then of MIT, met with then SEC Jay Clayton to discuss crypto regulation, stating Bitcoin should not be considered a security, but the SEC should crack down on other aspects of the business. Sources confirmed to Fox Business. In 2018, the meeting which occurred at Clayton's office just 3 months before the former SEC corporate finance chief Bill Hinman gave a speech at the Yahoo Finance Conference, providing his view that Ethereum and Bitcoin are not securities, but that others may be. Clayton provided input into the Hinman speech. I have confirmed that. In 2020, the Clayton SEC files charges against Ripple, alleging the use of XRP to build out its platform violated securities laws. Clayton, Hinman, and Gensler had no comment. And I had the, someone had a picture of the calendar meeting with Gary Gensler in March of 2018. So there it is, guys. That is the latest and greatest of news for the day. It is a travesty. And I do believe, like that pit bull John Deaton says, there's enough there to warrant an investigation into the ongoings between Clayton, Hinman, Joseph Lubin, and everyone else involved there. It is clearly collusion and corruption clearly took place. Because remember, I'll say, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. How does the SEC, again, go Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's non-securities, and XRP a security, when XRP and the XRP ledger was created before Ethereum, blockchain, and ETH? What happened? We all know that Ripple, the people at Ripple had been meeting, talking with, and trying to work things out with the SEC. What happened? And this is my own personal opinion, that Ripple, David Schwartz, people at Ripple believed in a true decentralized crypto space in a level playing field. Remember, there's no one to talk to at Bitcoin. There's no one to talk to jump into the corruption and collusion pool. There's no one to talk to there. The next people up were XRP and the XRP ledger. You got to think, how in the world, where does it make any sense to give Ethereum, who had an ICO, a free pass, and not XRP, who did not have an ICO? How is it possible to say, oh yeah, that's a security? How is it possible? Now, if they would have let XRP go, that would have been a different story. But the fact that they decided to let Ethereum get a free pass, even having had an ICO, and to use the words, putting aside the fact that Ethereum had an ICO, we see today that Ethereum is not a security. We see no need to regulate Ethereum as a security. Think about that. Why is Hinman directing people to put together a memo? Why? Why is he doing that? Why was Andreessen Horowitz and Perky Co. and why is, I think her name is Nancy Watts, Wojta, WOJTA, something like that, right? Why is she saying, why did she come out of that meeting? It appears like she came out of that meeting upset, totally upset, not understanding why Ethereum would get the free pass and be not a security and not XRP. That's what her words. Her words. She was there. She was there in the meetings. Wait a minute. How is Ethereum going to be not a security, not XRP? Her words. Collusion, corruption at its best right there. So that is it, guys. Listen, I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos, remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.